In 1995, the Wolves signed a gritty, longtime NHL right winger who would eventually have 2 tilts with this team, culminating in the 2002 Calder Cup championship.
Robbie Brown, I remember we talked about him and made sure we brought him in. It was the second year I think he came in, and he had played for Chicago earlier. Obviously, I had him in Pittsburgh. He only scored 49 goals playing with Mario Lemieux, and people couldn't wonder why he would be with Mario Lemieux. But let me tell you, Robbie Brown is one of the most clever hockey players and quick hands you'll ever see.
Noonan after it there. That's some help from Goulet, who center one tipped in, and they score! Rob Brown, a waist-high pass that somehow he directed.
Brown was also part of one of the most famous lines in Wolves hockey history, the BMW line. Rob Brown, Steve Malte, and Brian Wiseman.
Feeds it over the line to Brown, crisscrosses. Brown feeds in the high slot, shooting his Malte, he scores!
Oh, I played with a line with a guy named Steve Malte and Brian Wiseman, 2 fantastic hockey players. And my friend Steve Malte, he laughs. He said that, you played with Mario, but Mario only got you 49. Steve Malte got me 50. So my 150-goal season was playing with Steve Malte and Brian Wiseman. So very fortunate that I had a chance to play some pretty good players in the minors.
I mean, he could find you anywhere. He would, he would tell you, if you think I'm going to win that battle, don't even come near me. And people don't realize how strong he was for a frail guy. He was strong on the puck. He competed. He wanted to win, whether it was, cards or, his favorite team or hockey. And yeah, that was we were spoiled back then. That was fun.
Brown left the team after 2 seasons to try his hand in the NHL again, signing with the Pittsburgh Penguins. It was during this time that John Anderson first got a gander at the winger when he joined the Wolves for a practice session in Chicago.
I think the NHL had a bit of a lockout, and we brought Rob Brown so he could practice with us because he was living in Chicago at the time. So I was kind of excited having an NHL player practice with us and stuff. Right? So Rob Brown gets out on the ice, and seriously, maybe the worst practice player I have ever seen in my life.
He was always lazy.
He's a little lazy, but he misses passes. He shoots wide, and I'm going like, seriously?
I played in Pittsburgh with Brownie, and when Brownie was there, and then you're talking about his practice.
Was he bad in practice?
He was bad in practice. Our joke was for him to come off and take off his shoulder pads and everything. And now you're out there for an hour and a half, and he did not have a sweat. His shirt was still dry. Nice. Honest to God, we go, come on, sir, you gotta have
microfiber.
You gotta have a little puddle here or something. Was that? And what's that cloth? It was that light blue cloth where you'd see anything? Nothing. And he prided himself on not having that. But Brownie was a goal scorer in Pittsburgh. He scored 49 goals and playing with Mario and all that stuff. And then he came here and he still was a goal scorer. But then he reinvented himself, went back to Pittsburgh as basically a checker. He was playing the third and fourth line, shut down other teams. So Brownie was that skilled that he could change what he was. But he was a threat every time. And
An intelligent player.
He was an intelligent player. He looked sloppy out there. It looked like his skates were going to fall off. His stick was wobbly, and he'd put a saucer pass in stride on a guy's stick, and he'd take that chopped shot and put it up. And and again, Courtney alluded to, like, he won scoring races all through junior, all growing up. He was one of the top scorers in the NHL.
Originally
in the defenseman.
Right?
And he had all these accolades and never won a championship.
He's a special talent for seeing things that I'd say 95% of players only dream about seeing.
After finishing up a 3-year stint with the Penguins, Rob Brown returned to the Wolves for a second run in 2000.
I played 16 years for a lot of different organizations, and I can tell you without a doubt that the Chicago Wolves organization was the best organization I've ever been part of.
There was one thing, after more than a decade in hockey, that Rob Brown still lacked, and he came back to Chicago to find it.
I would think it'd be hugely important because, guys get labeled this and that throughout their careers, and, I'm not sure if he had one or not, but, it's like I look at Charles Barkley in basketball. The guy was a phenomenal player, but he never won a championship. Does that mean anything? Well, to some people it does, to some it doesn't. To me, it really doesn't make him any less of a player, but, it's always nice to have that ring on your finger or, trophy on your shelf.
It was the 2002 Chicago Wolves squad that would put a ring on Brown's finger.
Well, it was an incredible experience. I played pro hockey for 16 years, and it's the only championship that I won. just the feeling, the camaraderie that you had with the guys after the championship. And you start thinking about all the hard work that went into that season, and all the hard work actually that went into your entire career to have that one opportunity to win a championship. I've actually got the ring on tonight from that championship game.
It was also a very emotional moment, one that found a place in the Wolves' core mantra as a franchise, family first.
Look at this place. The fans, you guys were unbelievable tonight. This is an incredible feeling. The best fans in hockey, no question about it. Rob, you have Gramps written right on your sweater here. You spent a long day yesterday, got back from Canada. How special is this for you to win, especially with the way the situation you have right now in your family with your grandfather?
My grandfather's been my biggest fan my entire career, and he's pretty sick right now back up in Canada. I flew up and saw him last night. This game was dedicated to my grandpa. I love you.
This just shows you what the Chicago Wolves organization was like. My grandfather took ill during the finals, the year that we won, and I found out about it, and I called the owner and said, you know what, I've got to go home. I'm not sure what's going to happen. And the owner said, called me back 10 minutes later, gave me a private jet, flew me and my family up to see my grandfather, and said, take as long as you need. We went up there, saw my grandfather, came back just in time for the game, and before the game I wrote Gramps on the inside of my sweater in honor of him. We won the championship, and all the pictures have me. I had my shirt, I turned it inside out so that Gramps would be in all the pictures. So I got a picture in my house of me holding the trophy with Gramps written across the front of my chest.
Tune in next time as Daring Greatly continues to chart the history of the Chicago Wolves in this exclusive docu-series.